The spotlight hit the piano like a blessing. White light, perfect angle. Exactly the way Michael had requested during tech rehearsal that morning. 12,000 people held their breath. This was the moment they'd been waiting for. The quiet part, the vulnerable part, the part where Michael Jackson sat alone at a grand piano and made 12,000 strangers feel like he was singing just for them. March 5th, 1988. Wembley Arena, London, England. Michael walked across the stage slowly. The band had gone silent. The dancers had exited. Just him, the piano, and thousands of people waiting. Human Nature was always the hardest song to perform. Not because of the notes. Michael could sing those in his sleep. But because it required him to stop being the performer and become the person. The real Michael. The one he kept hidden. He sat down at the bench, adjusted the microphone, flexed his fingers. His hands moved toward the keys. That's when he saw it. Folded white paper, nestled between the C and D keys in the upper register. Standing upright like a tiny flag. Michael froze. That wasn't there during sound check. He'd checked this piano himself 3 hours ago. Every key, every surface. Security protocol. Nothing gets near his equipment without approval. Someone had been here. During the show, while 12,000 people watched the stage, someone had left him a message. The band was queuing up the intro. Michael had maybe 10 seconds before they expected him to start playing. His hand reached for the note, fingers trembling, not from fear, from recognition. Even folded, even from this angle, he knew that paper, knew the way it was creased, sharp corners, precise folds, the way someone folds a note when they want to survive being carried in a pocket for a long time. He'd seen notes folded exactly like this before. 5 years ago. A lifetime ago. Michael picked up the note. The backing track started. Soft strings, gentle percussion. He should be playing. Should be singing. Instead, he unfolded the paper. The handwriting hit him first. Before he even read the words. Shakier than he remembered. Weaker, but unmistakably hers. Then he read the message. Michael, I'm in the audience tonight. Section 203, Row F, Seat 18. I need you to know I'm sorry. I need you to know the truth about why I left. You have a daughter. She's 4 years old. Her name is Lily. I'm dying, Michael. Breast cancer. Stage 4. 6 months. I came to tell you before I can't. I came to ask if you'll meet her. Not for me, for her. So she knows her father wanted her. Christina Alvarez, 1983 inch. The piano was supposed to come in. Michael's hands were supposed to be moving across the keys. But Michael Jackson sat motionless, staring at words that rewrote his entire history. The backing track continued without him. The band exchanged panicked glances. From the audience's perspective, Michael Jackson, frozen at the piano, not playing, not singing, just holding a piece of paper like it contained his death sentence. From backstage, what's wrong with Michael? I don't know. He's not playing. What's he looking at? Through binoculars. A note. Someone left a note on his piano. Michael's breathing changed. Shallow. Fast. His vision tunneled. The arena disappeared. All 12,000 people vanished. There was only the note. Christina Alvarez. The name alone was enough to stop his heart. The woman he loved in 1983. The woman who disappeared in January 1984 without explanation, without goodbye, without reason. He'd spent a year searching for her, hired investigators, tracked down her friends. Her family refused to speak to him. Eventually, he'd force himself to accept what seemed obvious. She'd left because loving him was too hard, because being Michael Jackson's secret girlfriend meant living in shadows, and she'd chosen light instead. For 5 years, he'd carried that guilt, that failure, that proof that he wasn't enough. And now she was here, with words that shattered everything he thought he knew. You have a daughter. She's 4 years old. Her name is Lily. Michael's hands dropped to his lap. The note fluttered, but he caught it, clutched it. The backing track was still playing, waiting for him. But Michael couldn't move. His musical director made a decision, cut the track. The music stopped abruptly. 12,000 people sat in confused silence. What's happening? Is this part of the show? Is Michael okay? Michael looked out at the darkness beyond the spotlight. Somewhere in section 203, row F, seat 18, was a woman who'd been raising his child in secret. His daughter. He had a daughter, 4 years old, and her mother was dying. Michael stood. The sudden movement made the piano bench scrape against the stage floor, a harsh sound in the silence. If you're enjoying this story, please subscribe to support the channel. He walked to the front of the stage, microphone in one hand, note in the other. I'm sorry, he said. His voice didn't sound like his voice. It sounded broken, raw, real. There's something I have to, I'll be back. I'm sorry. Not eloquent, not planned, not the Michael Jackson who always knew what to say. Just a man who just discovered he was a father. He walked off stage, didn't wait for applause, didn't acknowledge the confusion rippling through the arena, just walked, carrying a note that weighed more than anything he'd ever held. 5 years earlier, June 1983, Los Angeles, California. Michael Jackson, 24 years old, was between Thriller's release and its complete world domination. Christina Alvarez, 22 years old, was a struggling actress. Worked as a waitress at a cafe in West Hollywood. Auditioned constantly. Booked nothing. Dreamed of Broadway, but was stuck serving coffee to people who'd already given up on their dreams. They met when Michael came into the cafe at 11 p.m., wearing sunglasses and a hat pulled low. Christina didn't recognize him, or pretended not to, just took his order like he was anyone else. Coffee, black, and whatever's good. The pie's terrible, but the coffee's worse. I'd go somewhere else if I were you. Michael laughed. Actually laughed. Then why do you work here? Because terrible coffee pays my rent. That honesty, that complete refusal to perform, hooked him immediately. He came back the next night. And the next. By the fourth night, she asked, "Are you and keep pretending you're here for the coffee, or are you to ask me out?" "I'm Michael Jackson." "I know. I've known since night one. Do you want to get dinner or not?" For 8 months, June 1983 to January 1984, they dated in absolute secrecy. Michael's team didn't know. The press didn't know. Even his family didn't know. Christina's small apartment in Silver Lake became his sanctuary. Late-night conversations. She cooked him dinner, badly, but he pretended to love it. They watched old movies, talked about art, about dreams, about the person Michael wanted to be versus the person the world needed him to be. Christina wasn't impressed by fame. She actively disliked it. Got angry when paparazzi followed them. "I don't want to be Michael Jackson's girlfriend. I want you to be Christina's boyfriend, who happens to be Michael." She pushed him to be honest, to stop performing even in private. "You do this thing where you calculate what I want to hear before you answer. Just tell me the truth, even if it's ugly." They fought about his schedule, about his inability to be public with her, about her insecurities that he'd eventually leave her for someone more famous, more beautiful, more worthy of Michael Jackson. But they also loved deeply. Michael felt safer with Christina than he'd felt with anyone since childhood. December 1983. Michael told Christina he loved her. First time he'd said it to anyone romantic. The words felt foreign in his mouth. Terrifying. True. She said it back. "I love you too, but I'm scared." "Of what?" "That this can't last. That your life is too big for me. That eventually you'll realize I'm just a waitress who can't even book a toothpaste commercial. You're not just anything. You're Christina. That's all I need." But he was wrong, because Christina needed more than to be enough for him. She needed to be enough for herself. January 14th, 1984. The fight that ended everything. They were at Christina's apartment. Michael had just returned from 2 weeks of promotional appearances in Europe. Christina was sitting on her couch when he arrived, not smiling, not angry, just sad in a way that made his stomach hurt. "I can't do this anymore," she said. "Do what?" "Be your secret. I love you, but I feel like I'm disappearing. We can't go anywhere. We can't be seen together. I'm 22 years old, and I'm hiding in my apartment, waiting for stolen hours with you. Michael, defensive. You knew what this was. You knew my life is complicated. I know, but I didn't know it would make me feel this small, this invisible, this gone. I need you to choose, she said. Either we go public, tell your family, stop hiding, or I need to walk away, because I can't keep being the woman who doesn't exist. Michael panicked. The album was at a critical point. His image was being carefully managed. Going public with girlfriend, any girlfriend, but especially an unknown actress, would create chaos his team wasn't prepared for. I can't go public right now. Not with everything happening with the album. The press would turn it into a circus. They destroy you. They destroy us. So you're choosing the album over me. That's not fair. You're right. It's not fair. None of this is fair. Christina made her decision in that moment. I'm leaving, Michael. Not because I don't love you, but because loving you is killing the person I'm supposed to become. She asked him to leave. He did. Thought she needed space. That they'd talk in a few days when she'd calm down. January 20th, 1984. Michael went back to Christina's apartment. She was gone. The apartment was empty. Landlord said she'd broken her lease. Paid the penalty. Left no forwarding address. Michael tried calling. Number disconnected. He tried reaching her friends. No one would talk to him. He tracked down her family in Arizona. They said, Christina doesn't want to be found. Please respect that. Michael spent most of 1984 searching for answers. Hired private investigators. They found nothing. She disappeared completely. Eventually, he forced himself to accept the painful truth. She'd left because he was enough. Because choosing him meant choosing invisibility, and she'd chosen herself instead. He told himself, I should have gone public. I should have fought harder. I should have been braver. I lost her because I was a coward. What Michael never knew, Christina was pregnant. January 28, 1984. 2 weeks after Christina left Michael. Christina Alvarez missed her period. She took a pregnancy test in the bathroom of a friend's apartment, where she was temporarily staying. Positive. She was pregnant with Michael Jackson's child. She sat on that bathroom floor for 2 hours, not crying, not panicking, just thinking. The choice she faced was impossible. Option 1, tell Michael. He would want to do the right thing. Marry her, claim the child, build a family, but it would destroy his career. An unplanned pregnancy with an unknown actress? The press would crucify him. His team would see her as the woman who trapped him. His family would resent her for complicating his life. And worse, so much worse, Michael would eventually resent her too. Maybe not immediately, maybe not consciously, but someday he'd look at her and see the woman who took his choice away, who forced him into a life he didn't choose, who made him choose between his child and his dreams. Option 2, don't tell him. Disappear completely. Have the baby alone. Raise the child in secret. Let Michael believe she left because she didn't love him. Let him be free. Let him be Michael Jackson without the complication of a child he didn't plan for. Christina made the hardest decision of her life. She would have the baby. She would raise it alone. She would never tell Michael. She would let him believe she didn't love him, because that was kinder than letting him feel trapped. March 15, 1984. Christina Alvarez gave birth to a daughter in a hospital in Portland, Oregon. Lily Marie Alvarez. 6 pounds, 3 ounces. Michael's eyes. Michael's delicate bone structure. Michael's gentle spirit already visible in the way she didn't cry when the nurses cleaned her. Christina moved to Portland permanently. Changed her phone number. Took a job at a bookstore. Avoided anything that might connect her to Michael Jackson or Los Angeles or the life she left behind. She raised Lily alone. Worked 2 jobs. Bookstore during the day, waitressing at night. Her parents helped financially when they could, though they'd been furious when she told them she was pregnant and refused to name the father. Lily grew up knowing, your father was someone I loved very much, but we couldn't be together. It's complicated, and someday when you're older, I'll explain. But he's a good man, a kind man. And you have his eyes. For 4 years, Christina kept the secret. She watched Michael on TV, watched him become the biggest star in the world, bigger than anyone could have imagined, told herself, I made the right choice. He's happy. He's free. He doesn't need the burden of us. But she kept every article about him, every interview, every photograph. And late at night, when Lily was asleep, Christina would look at pictures of Michael and whisper, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I couldn't trap you. I loved you too much to trap you. October 1987. Christina found a lump in her right breast. She ignored it for 2 months, told herself it was nothing. But by December, the lump had grown. It hurt. She couldn't ignore it anymore. January 1988. Diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. Aggressive. Already metastasized her lymph nodes. The oncologist was kind but honest. With treatment, maybe a year. Without it, 6 months. Christina chose treatment. Not for herself. She'd made peace with dying. But for Lily, to buy time to figure out what would happen to her daughter. Because Christina had no one. Her parents were elderly, couldn't raise a 4-year-old. She had no siblings. No close friends who could take on a child. Lily would go into foster care. Would grow up not knowing her father. Not knowing where she came from. And somewhere in the world, Lily had a father who didn't know she existed. Christina realized, I don't have the right to keep this secret anymore. Not when I'm dying. Not when it means Lily will have no one. The decision that led to tonight. She would tell Michael, give him the choice she'd taken away 4 years ago. Not for her sake, for Lily's. She bought 2 plane tickets to London. Michael's Bad World Tour was playing Wembley Arena. She found out which shows he'd be performing Human Nature. His piano songs, the ones where he sat alone. She bribed a stagehand named Marcus $500 to place a folded note on Michael's piano. Specific instructions, between the C and D keys, upper register, during the dinner break before doors opened. Marcus had seemed skeptical, but took the money. I can't promise he'll see it. He'll see it, Christina said. Trust me, he checks that piano. Section 203, row F, seat 18. Christina Alvarez, 27 years old, dying of cancer, sat with her 4-year-old daughter on her lap. Lily was restless, too young to appreciate a concert, but Christina had promised her, we're going to see someone very special tonight, someone who sings beautiful songs. Is it my daddy? Lily had asked in the hotel room, while Christina helped her put on her dress. Christina had stopped, looked at her daughter. Yes, sweetheart, we're going to see your daddy. Will he know who I am? Not yet, but he will soon. Now, sitting in the audience watching Michael walk to the piano, Christina held Lily tight. Is that him? Lily whispered. Yes, baby, that's him. Lily watched with wide eyes as Michael sat at the piano, as his hands moved toward the keys. As he saw the note, Christina stopped breathing. From 200 feet away, she watched Michael's face change. Watched him pick up the note, unfold it, watched him read it, watched his hands drop to his lap, watched him freeze. Lily tugged on her sleeve. Mommy, why did the music stop? I don't know, sweetie. Just wait. Christina was crying, silent tears, because she could see, even from this distance, that Michael had read it, had understood. Her secret was out. 10:15 p.m. Michael's dressing room. 23 minutes after he walked off stage. Christina Alvarez stood in Michael Jackson's dressing room, holding the hand of a 4-year-old girl with dark curly hair and Michael's unmistakable eyes. Michael, still in his performance clothes, red jacket, black pants, single white glove removed and clutched in his other hand, stared at them both. He'd seen Christina's face from the stage before he left. Security had brought her backstage within minutes. She'd come willingly, carrying Lily. Now they stood 3 feet apart. 5 years of absence compressed into 3 feet of distance. Christina, Michael whispered. Hi, Michael. The simplicity of the greeting was absurd. 5 years. A hidden child. A terminal diagnosis. And they were saying, hi. like they'd run into each other at a grocery store. Michael's eyes dropped to the little girl. She was staring up at him with curious eyes, sucking on 2 fingers. Shy, dark curls, not as tight as his, but unmistakably there. Light brown skin, delicate features, and his eyes, exactly his eyes. Is she? He couldn't finish the sentence. Yes. Christina's voice was steady despite the tears streaming down her face. This is Lily, your daughter. The words detonated in Michael's chest. Your daughter. He crouched down slowly. Didn't want to scare her. Got to her eye level. Hi, Lily. The girl looked at her mother. Christina nodded encouragingly. Hi, Lily said quietly. Then, with the straightforward honesty only 4-year-olds possess, Are you really Michael Jackson? I am. My mommy says you're my daddy. Michael's throat closed. He couldn't speak, just nodded. How come I never met you before? The question, so innocent, so devastating, broke something in Michael, because he looked up at Christina helplessly. How do you explain this to a 4-year-old? Christina intervened gently. Sweetheart, remember what I told you? Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes. Daddy didn't know about you, but now he does, and he's very happy to meet you. Are you happy? Lily asked Michael directly. Michael wiped his eyes. Yes, I'm very, very happy to meet you. Lily seemed to accept this. She reached out tentatively and touched his glove, the white one in his hand. Why do you only wear one? It's part of my costume, for performing. Can I try it on? Michael actually laughed, a broken, wet sound. Sure. He helped her put the glove on. It was comically too large. Swallowed her entire arm. She giggled. Lily, Christina said softly, why don't you sit over there with the nice lady for a minute? I need to talk to your daddy alone. Okay. A production assistant, a young woman named Sarah who'd been standing frozen by the door, stepped forward. I have coloring books in my bag. Do you like to color? Lily nodded. Sarah took her to a couch in the corner of the dressing room, got her settled with crayons. The moment Lily was distracted, Michael stood, faced Christina. The professional part of his brain noticed. She looked different, thinner, tired. There was a gray pallor under her brown skin. Her cheekbones were more pronounced. Her eyes were shadowed. She was dying. The note had said so, but seeing it was different. Why? The word came out harsh, angrier than he'd intended. Why didn't you tell me? 5 years, Christina. 5 years you've been raising my daughter, and I didn't know. Why? Christina didn't flinch. Because I was pregnant, and I knew what would happen if I told you. What would have happened? You would have married me, out of obligation. You would have given up your career, your privacy, everything you'd worked for a baby you didn't plan, for a pregnancy that was an accident, and eventually, you would have hated me for it. That's not. Yes, it is. Her voice was firm. Michael, you were 24 years old. Thriller had just made you the biggest star on the planet. You were at the beginning of something unprecedented, and I was a waitress who couldn't book an audition. If I told you I was pregnant, what would you have done? Michael answered honestly. I would have married you. I would have claimed the child. I would have built a life with you. Exactly. You have done the right thing. Not because you wanted to, not because you'd chosen it, but because you felt you had to. Because that's who you are. You do what's right even when it destroys you. She stepped closer. And I didn't want that for you, or for me, or for her. I didn't want to be the woman who trapped Michael Jackson, who took away his choice, who forced him into a family he didn't ask for. So instead you took away my choice completely, Michael said. The anger was building now. 5 years of it. You decided, alone, that I wouldn't want to know my own child, that I wouldn't want to be a father. You made that choice for me. Yes, I did. Christina didn't apologize. And maybe I was wrong. Maybe you would have been happy. Maybe you would have made it work. But I couldn't take that risk. Because if I was right, if you did resent us, then all 3 of us would have been miserable. You would have given up your dreams for a child you didn't want. I would have spent my life knowing I trapped you. And Lily would have grown up with a father who resented her existence. Better she grow up with no father at all? Michael's voice cracked. Better she spend for years not knowing I exist? I thought so. Yes. Michael turned away, paced. His hands were shaking. With anger, with grief, with a feeling he couldn't name that felt like mourning something he didn't know he'd lost. The note, he said finally, it said you're dying. Breast cancer. Stage 4. Diagnosed 2 months ago. Michael closed his eyes. How long? 6 months. Maybe a year with aggressive treatment. And you came to tell me now? After 5 years? Because you're dying. Yes. Why? Why tell me at all if you were so convinced I wouldn't want her? Christina's composure cracked. Because I'm dying, Michael. And when I'm gone, Lily will have no one. My parents are too old to raise a child. I have no siblings. No close friends who can take on a 4-year-old. She'll go into foster care. She'll be alone. She was crying openly now. And I realized I don't have the right to keep the secret anymore. Not when it means my daughter will have no family. Because somewhere in the world, she has a father. And he deserves to know she exists. And she deserves a chance to know him. So this isn't about me, Michael said quietly. This is about Lily. Yes, this is about Lily. I'm not here to ask for forgiveness. I'm not here to justify what I did. I'm here to ask, will you meet her? Will you get to know her? So that when I'm gone, she knows her father wanted her. And then what? After you, he couldn't say the word. I'm asking if you'll take her, raise her, be her father. The full weight of what she was asking landed on Michael. Take custody of a 4-year-old he just met. Claim her publicly as his daughter. Deal with the inevitable scandal. The press. The questions. The judgment. Change his entire life for a child who was a stranger. Christina continued, I know this is impossible. I know your life is complicated. I know that claiming a daughter you didn't know existed will cause a media firestorm. But, Michael, she's yours. And she deserves a parent who loves her, who chooses her. You don't have to decide right now. I'm not asking for an immediate answer. I'm just asking, will you try? Will you spend time with her? Get to know her? So you can make an informed choice about whether you want to be her father. Michael looked across the room at Lily. She was coloring intently. Tongue stuck out slightly in concentration. Sarah was helping her stay inside the lines. She looked so small, so fragile, so completely unaware that her entire future was being decided right now. I don't need time, Michael heard himself say. Christina's head snapped up. What? I don't need time to decide. She's my daughter. The answer is yes. Michael, I'm 4 years late, but I'm here now, and I'm not walking away. Christina collapsed into a chair, started sobbing. Thank you. Thank you. Don't thank me. Michael's voice was hard. I'm furious with you. I'm furious that you took 4 years from me, that you made this choice without me, that you let me believe. He couldn't finish. The grief was too close to the surface. But she's my daughter, and she needs a father, so we'll figure this out. Christina nodded, wiping her face. There are legal things, paternity tests, custody agreements. I prepared documents. We'll do whatever's needed. And Michael, the press will destroy you when this comes out. They'll dig into everything. They'll find out about us. About? Let them. Are you sure? No. I'm not sure about anything right now, except that she's mine, and I'm going to take care of her. Christina stood on shaky legs. I'm staying in London for 2 weeks. There's a treatment clinic here. I brought Lily so the 3 of us could spend time together. If you want. Where are you staying? A hostel near. Pack your things. You're staying at my hotel. Both of you. Michael, we can't just. Yes, you can. And you will. I'm clearing my schedule. Canceling shows if I have to. This is more important. Christina started to protest, but Michael was already moving. He opened the dressing room door. His manager was right outside, looking frantic. Michael, what's going on? The audience. Cancel the next 3 shows. reschedule them, or refund tickets. I don't care which. What? Michael, we can't just. I have a daughter. Michael's voice was steel. Her mother is dying of cancer. I'm taking 2 weeks to be with my child. That's not a request. Make it happen. His manager stared. A daughter? Yes. She's 4 years old. She's in my dressing room right now, and I'm going to get to know her. So cancel the shows. I'll deal with the consequences later. March 1988 to September 1988. Michael spent every possible moment with Christina and Lily. The first week in London was surreal. Lily was shy at first, this stranger claiming to be her daddy. But Michael was patient. He read her bedtime stories in funny voices. He taught her simple piano notes. He took her to Hyde Park and pushed her on swings. Christina watched with complicated emotions. Grief that she'd kept them apart. Gratitude that Michael had chosen Lily so completely. Fear about what would happen when she was gone. April 1988. They returned to the States. Lily and Christina moved temporarily into Michael's Havernhurst house while lawyers worked out details. Michael hired the best family law attorney in California. Paternity test was scheduled. The press hadn't caught wind yet, but they would. Soon, June 1988, DNA results came back. 99.99% match. Lily Alvarez was legally confirmed as Michael Jackson's biological daughter. Michael's lawyer filed for custody arrangements. Christina was still legal guardian, but Michael was establishing paternal rights. July 1988. Christina's health declined rapidly. The cancer wasn't responding to treatment. She was losing weight, sleeping more. The oncologist was honest. Maybe 3 months, possibly less. Michael watched her deteriorate and felt a complicated tangle of emotions. Anger at what she'd kept from him. Grief for what they'd lost. Fear of raising Lily alone. But mostly, desperate need to make sure Christina knew Lily would be okay. I promise, he told her one night when Lily was asleep. I promise I'll take care of her. I promise she'll know how much you loved her. I promise she'll never feel abandoned. Christina, weak but clear-eyed, I know you will. I never doubted that. I just doubted whether you'd choose it. But you did. You chose her. I'm still angry at you. I know. You should be. August 1988. Christina was admitted to hospice care. Too weak to stay at home. Michael rented a suite adjacent to her room. He and Lily visited every day. Lily didn't fully understand. She was 4. Death was abstract. Why is Mommy so sleepy? She'd ask. Because she's very sick, sweetheart. Her body is very tired. Will she get better? Michael learned to tell the truth in age-appropriate ways. No, baby, Mommy won't get better. Her body is going to stop working soon. And when that happens, she'll go to heaven. Will I see her again? Not in this life. But she'll always be with you in your heart. And I'll be here. I'll take care of you. I promise. September 3rd, 1988. Christina Alvarez died peacefully in her sleep. Michael was there, holding her hand. Lily was with a nanny, too young to be in the room for the actual moment. Christina's last words whispered to Michael, "Thank you for choosing her, for being brave enough to choose her. I'm sorry I wasn't there from the beginning. You're here now. That's what matters." An hour later, Michael had to tell Lily that her mother was gone. He took her to the garden outside the hospice, sat with her on a bench. "Lily, sweetheart, Mommy's body stopped working. She died. She's not in pain anymore. She's at peace." Lily stared at him, processing. Then, where did she go? Heaven, where people go when their bodies stop working, but their souls need to rest. Will she come back? No, baby, she won't come back. But she'll always love you. And I'm here, and I'm going to take care of you. You're going to come live with me now. Is that okay? Lily crying, "I want my Mommy." I know you do. Michael held her while she cried, made promises he didn't know if he could keep, but would die trying. "I'll be here. I won't leave you. You're my daughter, and I love you. Always." September 10th, 1988. Christina's funeral. Small ceremony. her parents, a few friends. Michael and Lily. Lily wore a black dress, held Michael's hand. Didn't fully understand what was happening, but knew it was sad. The press had found out by then. Photographers outside the cemetery. Headlines: Michael Jackson's secret daughter revealed. Pop star at ex-girlfriend's funeral. Michael's lawyer released a brief statement. Michael Jackson is the biological father of Lily Alvarez, age 4. Her mother, Christina Alvarez, recently passed away after a battle with cancer. Michael will be raising Lily. We asked for privacy during this difficult time. The press didn't give them privacy, but Michael didn't care. September 15, 1988. Custody was finalized. Lily Jackson, legally changed from Alvarez, became Michael's daughter in every sense. She moved into Neverland Ranch, which was still being built. So temporarily they stayed at Havenhurst. The adjustment was brutal. Lily was grieving, acting out. Didn't understand why her entire world had changed. Michael was learning to be a father in real time. He made mistakes, lost his temper, called his mother crying at 2 a.m. asking how to get a 4-year-old to stop screaming. But he didn't give up. He showed up every day. Read her stories. Held her when she cried for her mom. Slowly, painstakingly built trust. By Christmas 1988, Lily had started calling him Daddy naturally. By her 5th birthday in March 1989, she felt safe. Years later, 1998, Lily's 10th birthday, Michael gave her a box. Inside, letters Christina had written before she died. Letters to be opened at milestones. One letter, meant for Lily's 18th birthday, but Lily would sneak and read it at 14. My darling Lily, by now you know the whole story. You know I kept you secret from your father for 4 years. You know I made a choice, one that many people will judge me for. Maybe you'll judge me too, but I want you to know why I did it. I did it because I love your father so much that I couldn't bear to trap him, and I loved you so much that I wanted you to be wanted, not obligated. When I told your father about you, I was terrified. Terrified he'd reject you. Reject us. But he didn't. He chose you immediately, without hesitation, without conditions. That's the kind of man he is, the kind of father he is. I hope you love him as much as I did. I hope you know how lucky you are to have him. And I hope someday you'll understand why I made the choices I made. I loved you. I loved him. And I did my best. I'm sorry I won't be there to watch you grow up, but your daddy will. And he'll be enough. More than enough. Love always, Mom. Michael kept the original note from March 5th, 1988 in a frame on his nightstand. The note that changed everything. Below it, he'd written in his own hand, I wanted her from the moment I knew she existed. I just wish I'd known sooner. Thank you, Christina, for giving me Lily, for trusting me with her, for choosing me, even when you thought you couldn't. Michael, a note appeared on his piano mid-show. He was shocked when he learned from who it was. Not because he'd forgotten Christina Alvarez, but because he'd spent 5 years believing she'd left because he wasn't enough, when the truth was far more complicated. She'd left to protect him from a choice she thought would destroy him. She was wrong. The only thing that would have destroyed him was never knowing, never meeting the little girl with his eyes and her mother's courage. The note didn't just reveal a secret. It gave him what he'd always wanted but never dared to ask for. A family, a daughter, a purpose bigger than fame. And though Christina didn't live to see it, she'd given Michael the greatest gift anyone had ever given him. Not just Lily, but the chance to be more than Michael Jackson the performer. The chance to be Michael Jackson the father. And he spent the rest of his life trying to be worthy of that gift.